Are you motivated by pain or pleasure? By getting away from what you don't want, or the promise of something really amazing and powerful in your life? Hi, it's Melanie Benson, host of New Era Success TV and America's leading authority on optimum performance. And speaking of performance, this is something that you need to know if you're going to be able to overcome the blocks in your life and really be able to get into that high trajectory success that I know you have been searching for your whole life. And, what is it that makes some people unstoppable and other people in this up and down, back and forth dance where they hit a little bit of success and then they fall apart? Well, a while back, I learned a technique, and I teach this in Money DNA Mastery, and it's like a bunch of light bulbs go off for people every time I share this little technique. And that is knowing whether you're moving towards what you want or moving away from what you don't want. And it can make all the difference. And here's an example. I've discovered that a lot of people, when I ask them, what's important to you? What do you want out of life? What are you building this business for? They tell me all the things they don't want. Well, I don't want to work for someone else. I don't want to have to work, 100-hour work weeks. I know I don't want to, have all these people in my life who tell me what I can't do. I don't want to feel trapped anymore. Think of the list of reasons why you started your business. Were there some negative away from motivations in there, things that you didn't want anymore? Well, maybe you were looking at all the positives. And you were looking at things like, I want to be able to have time freedom so I can spend my days the way I want. I want to have an unlimited potential to earn the level of success that I can create for myself. I want to have flexibility and creativity and be able to get my message out there in the world in a bigger way. What was inspiring to you? What was your bigger why? Well, if you really look at the strategy and the thinking behind your motivation to do certain things, it's very, very revealing, and here's why. I love this example. I'm going to show you a little picture today. Most of us, when we are setting our goals and intentions of what we want, we're thinking of what we don't want. And by the way, this is very normal. If you're doing this, please know we all do it. It's just being aware of it is really important in what I'm going to teach you today. But when you move away from something, here, I'm going to show you a little picture. It's like you're on a up and down dance, and you move away from what you don't want, and then you get to a point where you've moved away from what you don't want, and you're starting to tell yourself, now what? Well, I don't have that anymore, but I don't know what I do want, so I just have to go back to creating what I don't want. And all of a sudden you start the cycle over and over and over again. So let's take something, and this is the very same thing I teach in Money DNA. Let's say you don't want to be broke, right? We can all relate to that. I don't want to be broke anymore. So you move away. I don't want to be broke. 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 And you get to the place where you're not broke anymore. But that part of you that only knows how to do one thing, that is the thing, the direction you're giving it, the focus and the catalyst for all your energy is not being broke. So now you're not broke, but you don't know what else to do. So you have to crash, and that part of you just says, well, I know how to not be broke, so I have to get broke in order to get my game back on. So this is why when you have away from motivation, it's not ideal. And again, I'm kind of gelling in a very quick, focused lesson here. But what I want you to get is that when you're moving away from something, it's hard to sustain it. Because at a certain point, you're going to crash and you're going to have to come back and try it again. And that makes it really difficult to sustain your momentum, to sustain your focus. And at a certain point, there's an end to it. Because when you don't not have it, you got to go back and start over. So here's a better way. And this is what I have found is what makes it possible to be having unlimited success. And that is when you focus on what you do want and move towards it. So here's the other example. So prosperity. I hope you can read that. It might be backwards. But prosperity, if you're moving towards prosperity and it's like, I am prosperous, I am prosperous, I am prosperous, I am prosperous, there's no end to it. You don't stop measuring when you're prosperous. And there's no place where you have to shut it down. And so what happens is that you keep activating more resourcefulness, more confidence, more power, more ideas, more opportunity, because there's no end to prosperity. There's no end to that abundance. And so instead of focusing on, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be broke, and you end up at a place where you're broke because you don't know what else to do, you focus on what you do want. And this is a really powerful shift in consciousness for a lot of us, because we walk around all day thinking about all the things we don't want. Our measure of success is, well, I don't want this, but I don't know what I do want. And you can't really get successful from that place. Long time ago, when I was, I've told the story many times, but when I was just getting out of that awesomely overwhelming time in my life, I was focused on what I didn't want. I didn't want to be working 80, 100-hour work weeks anymore. I didn't want to be broke. I didn't want to struggle. I didn't want to not be known, right? And so at a certain point, I realized, I have to focus on what I do want, and I have to make that bigger than what I have right now. I have to juice it up and energize it. And so I started focusing on all the things that I wanted to be able to experience and have when I was in my ultimate level of success. So I focused on things like, I'm going to be able to travel and take this trip. So at that time I was planning I wanted to go to Europe for 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that, which I ended up doing. I went on a 3-week trip to Europe. Then I looked at things like, I want to be able to have the freedom to schedule my time the way I want. So today, I have Mondays and Fridays where I don't schedule appointments. Now, sometimes I work on creating videos, or I do the lesson of the week. I might work on some writing projects, but it's free for me to do what I want with it. Most of the time, I don't work Monday mornings because I'm off taking care of me. I might go get a massage or go to yoga class and work out, meditate, do things to nourish myself. On Friday afternoons, I almost always take them off and go spend time with my family and do fun things. So, what do you want? Let's flip it around. I want you to think about something that you've been driving yourself to get away from what you don't want. It could be anything. Just become aware of what you've been driving yourself. And let's flip it today to what you do want. And if you want to play along, post a comment right here below this video and tell me, what is it you do want? And then you're already starting the ball in motion. All right, I hope you found this helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Melanie Benson Strick, host of Neuro Success TV. We'll see you soon.